A good afternoon or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the close of the 9th Aviation Stakeholders Convention, which was held under the theme Building Blocks for the Air Transport Industry. The convention provided an ideal forum for air transport industry stakeholders to dialogue, to exchange knowledge and experiences for the sector's recovery efforts and deliberate on feasible solutions to alleviate the industry challenges. It is the hope of Afra and Ethiopian Airlines that you found this conference useful and productive. We will be leaving the conference platform live up to the next coming days. For those who will wish to follow some of the recordings that they missed of some of the sessions, please feel free to do so through the attendee hub, and you click on the section that you wish to follow and click on replay. Presentations will also be shared with all participants post-webinar, as well as the recordings of the sessions. We wish to thank our supporters for this event, Ethiopian Airlines and Collins Aerospace, for their gracious support extended to us. I wish to thank all of the participants for taking your time off your busy schedules to join us for this event, and most grateful thanks from Afra to all our session panelists, presenters, and our VIP speakers in the opening ceremony for making their valuable contributions to the sessions and to the debates. We now come to the closing of this event. And before we close, I wish to take you through some of the highlights of the event proceedings. Yesterday, in the interventions from the Leaders Forum and the CEO Dialogue, the convention discussed some priority actions for the industry restart. It is essential to support airlines financially in this period where liquidity crisis is hurting them, and financial support is one of the main priorities for an effective restart of the industry. The next priority is implementation of harmonized and internationally adopted health and travel protocols. The next priority is that African states need to make available universal, accessible, and affordable COVID-19 testing facilities to all air travelers, that is PCR or rapid antigen tests. The industry also needs to expedite on the vaccine rollout campaign in Africa. We also need to, the states were urged to lift prohibitive travel restrictions to ensure that we have safe opening of borders so that airlines can resume operations. The next highlight as a priority is the adoption of globally interoperable digital health pass or certificates. On sustainable airline operations, we got insights from the speakers on what airlines should do. Airlines were urged to be flexible, lean, smart, to collaborate, and this will ensure sustainable operations. Airlines are also called upon to have a clear strategic focus and to be future ready in their business models. Airlines also are urged to have a transformational plan. The next element is the use of data intelligence to build the future of airlines through market data. The focus on data optimization and analysis is becoming more important now more than ever. Airlines are also called upon to be more agile, to develop multi-offering strategies. A strategic focus is important because one size does not fit all. On cargo, we noted that the pandemic has been a wake-up call, and there is need to treat cargo as a core business to give it priority in strategy, fleet planning, network development, and to be represented at the board level. Airports will have an important role to play in terms of investing in cargo infrastructure to support temperature-controlled pharma or vaccines, along with e-commerce cargo. Airlines and airports have to recognize the importance of air cargo and invest in their cargo management, staff and training, along with resources for cargo business development. Airlines and airports will also have to adapt their management to work virtually while maintaining efficiency at the workplace. In terms of industry perspective on sustainable airline operations, the industry stakeholders need to work together to address the issue of sustainability of the air travel industry, where we noted that we need to address the high taxes and charges and fees that make the operating environment very high for African airlines. In addition to that, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement and the Single African Air Transport Market implementation will be important to drive business growth in Africa as well as intra-Africa connectivity. On safety, we noted that Africa's safety has improved gradually towards the world averages. However, runway safety occurrences are still prominent. With the African Development Bank support, AFCAC, AFRA, and IATA are joining forces to prepare African airlines for ISA or IOSA to further improve their Africa safety performance. AFRA airlines with FAA or EASA approved MROs will also contribute in the enhancement of safety through continuous airworthiness and generation of, they will also generate new revenues under the framework of the AFRA UTD MRO joint initiative. With regards to financial support to airlines, collaboration among stakeholders, DFIs for financial support to the air travel industry is necessary in order to accelerate the efforts for the industry recovery. Airlines also are supposed to ensure that they have a future business model, because getting financing from public investors requires a convincing story. Airlines also need to address the element of sustainability in terms of their operations. This will also enhance their bankability for better support from financial institutions. We also learned of the ongoing catalyzing efforts to create a robust leasing company or platform for African airlines, which is aimed to foster leasing opportunities, in particular for small African carriers. On technology, differentiation through investing in technology that will also drive cost savings and improve operational efficiencies was one of the take-home points that we need to implement as airlines. Airlines need to overcome the challenges in leveraging big data, adopting classless revenue management practices. Airlines also need to remove silos that exist across the pricing, revenue management, and ancillary teams. Smarter retailing is essential to survive in today's dynamic market to unlock the incremental revenue streams. Also, the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning power is the path to travel transformation. On fuel, in Africa, we need to implement more competitive and transparent fuel costs on the pricing. There's a lot of lack of transparency in many African markets. Stakeholders in the fuel supply chain were also urged to work together to adopt industry best practices for safe, quality jet fuel, especially after a prolonged period of low level of operations. There's also need to establish a regular communication between airlines and fuel suppliers. This brings me to the close as your event host. It was a pleasure hosting you for this convention, and I will now pass over to the host airline for the closing remarks, and this will be followed by closing remarks from AFRA Secretary General. We have a pre-recorded speech by ET Chief Commercial Officer, Mr. Esaias Woldemariam, on behalf of Mr. Tewolde Gebremariam.
Excellencies, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, I am once more delighted to address you at the end of this important virtual conference of the African Aviation Revamp. And Ethiopian Airlines is highly delighted to have hosted this convention. I would just leave you with some important notes at the end of the convention. First of all, to wish our beloved continent Africa wellness and good recovery from the pandemic, as well as our industry, African aviation, to go bigger and stronger. And also for African governments to help facilitating of visit within Africa by visa facilitation, as well as by reducing cost of flying, by making fuel cost more competitive, as well as aviation infrastructures in general to be well competitive so that it can be affordable for Africans. Otherwise, we Africans need to visit each other all the more. We need to get to know each other all the more, and we need to help the economy by our visit and by our cross investments. And Ethiopian Airlines is highly committed to help the African aviation to grow bigger and stronger by sharing it is 75 years of conducting aviation business in a very good way, completely with African professionals, building an enduring African brand. Generally speaking, at the end of this convention, I wish you all our beloved industry colleagues all the best under the sun with all your endeavors in improving the African aviation. Thank you.
And now to the closing remarks of AFRA's Secretary General, Mr. Abderrahmane Berté.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. We have now reached the end of our 9th Aviation Stakeholders Convention. I have no doubt that during these 2 days, we learned a lot about the state of the aviation industry in Africa and share views on ways to restart and recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. Most importantly, I trust that we are able to explore areas we can work in partnership. I would like to express our sincere gratitude to Ethiopian Airlines, the host of this convention, and its dedicated team that has made this event a success. My appreciation goes to our partners, sponsors, and the media. I look forward to meeting you all at the next Aviation Stakeholders Convention, which we expect to be a physical one. Meanwhile, keep safe. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, and a goodbye to all.